I think I'm going first, so I can't have the final word for once. Good afternoon. Wow. It's incredible to see all of your faces. In the run-up today, there were two aspects I was most looking forward to. First, the essence of what today is all about, the declaration of our love and our dedication to one another. Secondly, doing that in the presence of our closest family and friends. One of those rare moments where we all have the chance to be together in the same place. And standing here with you all today, I feel so privileged. Privileged to have such wonderful and caring family and friends. I feel truly honored by the efforts you have all made to be here. Many of you have traveled from all over the country and indeed all over the world to share this day with us, here in beautiful Northumberland, where I grew up and where my parents still live.
I'd like to also start by thanking everyone for coming out here today from far and wide. There is a great Steve Jobs commencement speech for Stanford from 2005 with a quote that I always like to think about, which is, "You can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking back." And I think what he meant by that was that you're the sum of all your experiences and all the interactions that you have along the way in life. And I think each and every one of you in this room means a lot to us and has contributed a lot to our lives. So thank you.
It is my great pleasure to welcome you to this historic church this afternoon as we gather to celebrate the marriage of Alex and Kimberley. It is a great joy to officiate at the wedding today as they commit themselves to one another. We welcome them, members of both families, friends and colleagues, whether you've come from near or far, which I know many of you have today. We all come to witness Alex and Kimberley's marriage, and most importantly of all, to pray with them and for them at the beginning of their new life together.
Alex is a different kind of man. There are far too many stories for one speech. So we are all going to be giving a toast and then a piece of some sort of advice to Alex and Kimberley. So I'll start things off. Alex and Kimberley. So my advice to you goes back to when Danny, Alex and myself were at school together and we played hockey. We were playing our rival school, Merchant Taylors, the arch enemy. Now, this rival guy was very good, so I decided to get out of the way, and this guy decided to absolutely leather the hockey ball. He proceeded to hit Alex in the head, and Alex went down like a plank. We thought he was dead. And Alex proceeded to get up and just laugh and run off. And so from this story, there is a means of advice. The first thing is, Alex and Kimberley, take life head on. And most of all, play fair. But as Alex always does, that gorgeous smile and that side parting, Alex and Kimberley, always laugh your way through your marriage, and I wish you all the best.
So Alex has had the misfortune of knowing me since the age of 6. And this fond memory of Alex is nearly 20 years old. Alex, myself, and our friends Hamza and Phil were on the way back to Alex's house. On the way back, however, we were intercepted by 8 unruly characters who were very eager to find out the time and, as it turns out, our valuable possessions. So after about 5 minutes of getting mugged, the results were in. We'd collectively given away 2 phones and 1 wallet. Unexpectedly, we noticed Alex holding what appeared to be a SIM card in his hand. So it turns out he managed to convince the muggers to open the back of his phone, remove the battery, take out the SIM card, and give it back to him. So from that experience, one lesson stands out. In challenging situations, staying calm and negotiating can help you salvage something valuable, no matter how small it may be. Thank you.
So I'm going to fast forward it a little bit because I've only had the pleasure of knowing Alex since university. And at the end of our second year at university, Alex and I decided to go backpacking around Europe. So armed with the advice of my now wife that Berghain nightclub was the place to go, we joined the queue in the early hours of the morning. Now, to paraphrase Rihanna, Berghain is more a whips and chains excite me sort of vibe. Somehow, though, we made it past the first bouncer and were confronted by the end boss, Sven. So he took one look at us and ended our night after 3 hours of queuing with a curt 9. So we ended our evening at the Alexanderplatz McDonald's. Alex, no doubt, seething, thinking, why did you have to wear the Jack Wills? But nonetheless, he offered me his last chicken nugget. And on that note, my piece of advice to you is that no matter what challenges life throws to you both, it's the small displays of affection that will sustain you.
Alex, will you take Kimberley to be your wife? Will you love her, comfort her, honour and protect her, and forsaking all others, be faithful to her, as long as you both shall live?
I will.
Kimberley, will you take Alex to be your husband? Will you love him, comfort him, honour and protect him, and forsaking all others, be faithful to him, as long as you both shall live?
I will.
So I had the fortune of first meeting Kimberley and Alex whilst working at Parthenon. Kimberley, the model professional. Alex, on the other hand, showed his difficulties in keeping up with timings, frequently running into the office in a sweat at 9:59 a.m. He once made us miss a flight to Stockholm because he insisted on having a homemade breakfast. And so there are a few lessons to this. Number one, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, except when you're getting an early morning flight. Number two, it's hard to stay angry at Alex for too long. And number three, the importance of family and friends. You've shown how much family and friends mean to you today and all the time that we've known you. And I speak on behalf of all of us that we're just glad to be a part of it.
So I've known Alex for a number of years, like with Danny and Bram, we're at school together, but I also had the pleasure of living with him for a few years in London, and it was during those years that he met the lovely Kimberley, or the now Mrs. Chung. Now, I was originally a bit worried that she was going to steal my friend away from me, but instead, I became that lovely, awkward third wheel. And I have to thank you both for that, because honestly, hanging out with the two of you was some of my favourite memories in London. It's never been a dull moment with the two of you. Alex, you've always had such a hunger to make the most out of life, and I feel like now with Kimberley, you found someone to make that journey all the more fun. And so my advice is always find the fun in everything, whether it's the small, mundane daily tasks through to the big adventures you're likely to have. So lots of love.
Alex, as the lone American groomsman and your business school classmate, my advice is to always embrace each other's sense of travel and adventure. It's the least you could do to thank Kimberley for tolerating your 2 years of MBA and cultural immersion in New York, otherwise known as partying. I encourage you to show your gratitude to her by always being the most enthusiastic karaoke singer, taking an occasional long lunch on a ski day instead of rushing back to the mountain, and never losing your shared passion for travel and new experiences. Love you both.
I, Alex, take you, Kimberley,
I, Alex, take you, Kimberley,
to be my wife,
to be my wife,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death us do part,
till death us do part,
according to God's holy law.
according to God's holy law.
In the presence of God, I make this vow.
In the presence of God, I make this vow.
I, Kimberley, take you, Alex,
I, Kimberley, take you, Alex,
to be my husband,
to be my husband,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death us do part,
till death us do part,
according to God's holy law.
according to God's holy law.
In the presence of God,
In the presence of God,
I make this vow.
I make this vow. I would like to close by talking about my husband, Alex. Alex, I love you to the moon and back. The easiest way for me to describe how I feel about you is this. I am someone who typically takes a lot of time over decisions. I like to know I have all the information I need. I like to consider everything and be sure of my choice. Some may say I'm indecisive. Falling in love with you and saying yes when you asked me to marry you took no time at all. And I've never been more sure of a decision that I've made. My mum, who's a very wise lady, once said to me to look for someone who takes care of those who are close to them. And seeing you take care of your grandma, I have no doubt that when I ever need anything, you will be there and you'll always have my back. Any day spent with you is my new favorite day, and I can't wait to have a lifetime of favorite days.
In the presence of God and before this congregation, Alex and Kimberley have given their consent and made their marriage vows to each other. They have declared their marriage by the joining of hands and by the giving and receiving of rings. I therefore proclaim that they are husband and wife. Give them a clap.
So it's now the girls' turn, and our advice, I have to say, is a bit more focused on Alex. As Alex knows, there are so many reasons to love Kimberley, and we know and are just so excited about the rest of your love story that's still to come. But before we started, we also just wanted to say that you won't be facing this marriage alone. As your friends, we have also committed to you for life.
When collecting Kimberley stories, everyone brought up her love for singing, whether Phantom of the Opera or really any musical, through to the fact that for Kimberley, karaoke at 2 a.m. is never a bad idea. And so, with that in mind, out of the hundreds of bits of advice I could give, number one is to make sure you find the time to sing and laugh together. But I know you won't find that hard because it's so rare to be around you both and not see you grinning ear to ear, making all of us smile too.
Kimberley, as you would expect, threw herself into every aspect of college life. Studying, bopping, rowing, croqueting, and of course singing Mr. Brightside while wearing full black tie. After university, we moved into a shared house in Angel.
And we had some of the best years, experienced the best that London has to offer, and Club de Fromage. So here is some advice based on our years of living with Kimberley.
you will need a lot of wardrobe space.
If you're travelling with Kimberley, always fully insure your rental vehicle.
Never talk during the pivotal emotional scenes in Dirty Dancing.
And much like the relationship in Dirty Dancing, after the perfect dance, or the perfect glance, the perfect day, there will be times that marriage feels like a challenge. You might forget to go for a walk together, forget to cook together, forget to give each other the love you both deserve. And I wish I had a golden piece of advice to guide you through those moments. Instead, I can give Alex some words of encouragement. 1, when Kimberley has made up her mind, as she has about you, she's utterly immovable and usually right. And 2, by choosing her, you have made the job of navigating marriage infinitely easier. Kimberley is the most committed and determined person I have ever met, and the easiest to love.
She is thoughtful, kind, beautiful, brilliant, fun, strong-minded, and dedicated to those she cares about. She makes friends everywhere, and she keeps them forever. She is one of the best people to have by your side in almost any situation. And Alex, you are so lucky to have her by your side in your life.
So not being married myself, I called my resident love guru, who is my 93-year-old grandfather, and his advice was, you have to support each other every single day, all the time. And I knew that would be so easy for the two of you. They've already taken a huge leap moving halfway across the world, away from so many family and friends that are here tonight. And then they had to survive a global pandemic. But they've held each other through new jobs, crappy jobs, and even a broken wine fridge. And I reflected on this with my grandpa, and he said, well, if anyone can come through, these two absolutely can. Love you both.
It's difficult to know what else to say about the girl that I met as we both waited nervously on a staircase for our Oxford interview. The young woman that I graduated with, having made it through our final exams on a diet of yogurt-coated raisins and red wine. To the beautiful bride and wife of Alex that you see here standing there today. But what I hope you know is just how pleased we are that two such special people found each other, and that your love continues to grow. That your shared sense of humour, determination, but above all kindness, sees you through the good times and the bad. And that you continue to bring out the best of each other forever. We can't wait to see what comes next in your story. And we want you to know how grateful we are for making you part of your special day. And all it remains for me to say is, Kimberley and Alex, we love you.
And finally, to Kimberley, I love you very much. You look amazing today. I think it's an incredible dress. I can't really say anything else about it. It looks wonderful. Thank you for always being by my side and being my pillar in all aspects of life. Those that were on her hen do in London will know that my favourite memory of Kimberley is her and my grandma and me cooking dinner together in our apartment in New York when my grandma came and stayed with us. And I know she always really appreciated having you around and loved you very much. And it's pretty easy to see why. You might be more Chinese than me in many aspects. For example, it was Kimberley's idea to have the double happiness signs on the wax seals for the invites that went out. It was her idea to have the double happiness sign on the welcome plaque today, and it was kind of your idea to do the tea ceremony as well, I think. So. And I think it was amazing how you just kind of slotted into all aspects of my family's life, from dim sum and Sunday night dinners to picking up my grandma from the casino. I think this has just been the easiest. It has always been the easiest relationship. That's amazing. I love you. I'm gonna end on that. I love you, Kimberley, and I'm really excited to spend the rest of my life with you.